Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell your nigga never done me. Keep it real, tell your nigga never fucking love me. Yeah, I keep it real, tell your nigga never love me. Cause every time we working hard, nigga never love me. I understand that the pain. Tell your nigga pain, never feeling like a lame. Every time you keep it real, tell your nigga ain't. Every time you get a shot, take a shot, nigga ain't. I understand all the pain. Tell your niggas please, I never lie, man, the cane. Yeah, I understand all the pain. Tell your niggas please, I never lie, like a cane. You swear, nigga, I'm sweet like a sugar cane. Every time, nigga, moving like a fucking crate. Tell your nigga I'm the one that you levitate. Every time you tell my nigga please, I never fucking dang. Tell your nigga never die me. Tell your nigga never lie me. Keep it real, tell your nigga never fucking lie me. Every time you keep it real, nigga never die me. I'm the one that nigga that live in the army. Every time you get a kid, nigga never lie me. Every time they tell you a nigga die me, I'm the one nigga, the king. Hello guys and welcome back to FOSS Institute. So it's been a while ever since I dropped a Mixpad video. I'm lying, I just dropped a video last week. But anyways, I decided just to drop another video after like my bro Hip Hop Hub commented and said, bro, can you please drop another video, and this time let's just focus on an echo and a reverb. That's exactly what I will be doing on this video. Let's just jump straight to it. So I've been listening to Travis Scott and Don music lately, and I noticed like their sound has a little bit of crispy. That's why like when I was making this song, I actually tried my level best to boost my high ends on my compressor. If like you can listen to the song, go back to the beginning of the video, you re-listen to the song, you will hear like the mastered version is a little bit crispy. That's the kind of a sound that I was going for. But at the same time, there's some complex, some small complex but a very simple, hold on, does this make sense? Okay, it is a complex but a simple way that I used, a simple technique which I used when I was applying my reverb or my echo. So I decided to listen to Travis Scott project. I did listen to Utopia, and it sounds great. It is a top one of the best hip hop projects of the year, just to be honest. And McDean actually did his best there, and that's exactly what I will be explaining here. So I don't want to go deep on how I actually made my sounds, but the reason my song is sounding a little bit crisp is that I decided to boost my high end of my compressor. So let's jump to a reverb and a compressor. So let's jump to a reverb and an echo. So the first thing that I need to let you know is that the moment you click add effects, then you go straight to time-based, you only see two effects, which is the reverb and an echo. This automatically gives you an idea that a reverb and an echo, that it is like the time-based effects. So there's one effect which you don't see on the list, which is also time-based, which is a delay. A delay is also time-based, but today we'll be just focusing on the reverb and an echo. So an echo, let me just go straight to an echo. An echo is one of the most popular terms in music production, just in general. So you can even ask like a 12-year-old child who knows nothing about music production. He can tell you what is an echo, but he or she can be a little bit confused on actually knowing what is a reverb, because the word reverb is not popular like the word echo. So you'll notice, let me quickly jump. Okay, I decided like just to open for the pad, which I'll be using to explain some of the basic terms. So let me just quickly jump around it. So this is my first. So let me quickly explain what is an echo. And so before I even go deep on what is an echo, it is very important to note that both of those are very similar. The difference is just time, and there are two differences which I decided to spot, which I'll love you guys to notice. Okay, let's jump to it. So this is my forest. This is the forest. This is where Hannah lives, by the way. So this is a forest. As this is a forest, and this is Anna, and so this is Anna, and Anna decided to shout, you know. So she decided to shout, and the voice goes straight to the woods, and also backwards, you know. So the truth is, Anna is facing this side. So this is the side like where like the vocals would speed or the sound will speed. After hitting the woods, it will just bounce back straight to Anna, and that is generally an echo. When the moment like you go to the rainforest, the moment you go to the forest, the moment you go to the canyon, and you start shouting hello, you will hear like your sound repeating at a constant speed. But the more it repeats, there's a fade out from each and every word. Force, 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 force. So that is what is happening with an echo. So number one, both a reverb and an echo are time-based effects. They are kind of similar, but there's one difference between the two. It is the time it takes to reach back to you. It is the time it takes to reach back into your ears. Okay, let me go to this. So here I have FOSS Institute. So I'll be using green for an echo. So what is happening? So when you applied an echo effect and you decide to say something, this will just jump straight and come here. You just repeat this, both of those, back towards the end. So when I said FOSS Institute, it will keep saying FOSS Institute, FOSS Institute. That is an echo depending on how you applied your echo effect. So the general language I can say as simple as I can is when the moment you say something, it will just say the same thing towards the end. But let me quickly change the color to a little bit of a yellow color. So what happens if you applied a reverb? So when I say this, it will quickly bounce back. So I'll quickly hear it again, right? But also this, I will quickly hear it again. But there's one thing that you need to notice. Let me go straight to another color. Let me just quickly circle this. So a reverb will always have huge, large walls, which means with a reverb you are trying to emulate something. So with a reverb you can emulate you may try to work around your vocal and sound like you were recording on an actually recording studio, but you were not in that specific studio just by being able to set your reverb. So what a reverb does in general terms is just like let me quickly write this. So it's just like you're setting it that okay, it should repeat, but it goes in a very far kind of a space until it comes back to your ears. But an echo, it quickly repeats. That's the difference. A reverb, it will take a lot of time to hit on the surface so that it can so that you can hear it back on your ears. A reverb has a huge space than an echo. I don't know, guys, if you do understand what I'm saying, but that's how I can say it. That a reverb has a huge space, is big. It will sound big, and it will take time to come back to your ears. But the moment it comes, it will come in the form of a huge space, and an echo will quickly come. But there's one thing that I need you guys to understand. Those terms, you can take those both terms, an echo and a reverb, and put it on a single layer. What do I even mean? So when you start working on the music, right, you can say, okay, let me just apply this and make them like exist in a one kind of a surface. So how do you actually make that? That's the question. Okay, you know, like your reverbs, you already know, like your echo, it will hit back and it will repeat. That's what your echo generally does. You say something, it will just repeat it. It will just repeat it after a certain time after you said it. But a reverb, you're trying to emulate a certain sound, so it will take time to hit a certain surface and come back to your ears. And when it comes back to your ear, it will also come in a huge space. So let's say like you start to record a song, then you decide to say you decide to say king. So you already know what you want to do. So you want like your sound to have a little bit of an echo and a reverb all at the same time, of which that's exactly what I did on the song you had in the intro. So I know like my reverb will just come here and it will repeat this same thing. Then what I do, I tell like the reverb to come and fight this entire echo and give it like a little bit of a space. So the moment it repeats, it will repeat in a huge space. That's why 99 producers out there usually use a reverb, not an echo. That's one thing you need to understand. A lot of producers will usually use a reverb, not an echo, because a reverb has a huge space and you're trying to emulate a certain space. For an example, you may make a song and maybe on your bridge you want to sound like you are on the forest. How can you do that? You can do that using a reverb. Push like a decay time, and be careful about that. The moment like you make like your sound to sound like it is on a huge space, it may affect like the way your sound like, because it may get muddy. So you gotta be careful. So a reverb, you're trying to emulate a certain sound. On your chorus, you want to sound like you're on a classroom. You can do that using a reverb, right? Then you can also, a reverb usually has a delay on it depending on what kind of a reverb you are using. It's just like I didn't download my snap reverbs, but in general, like a reverb or a delay, a reverb or an echo will always usually has a little bit of an echo, a little bit of a delay on it. So you gotta be careful. You gotta understand that. So you can just use this just to emulate a certain sound, because if you can use like Mixpad for example, you'll see like those things are very basic and super straightforward. You can say, okay, let me use both of those. You can see you don't have any. You can have a decade, which is generally like the space around your sound. There you can just use this just below like your echo and set it in a certain way so that it can try to emulate that low kind of a repetitive sound. So that's one of the few things I actually managed to spot when I was listening to Travis Scott project, that okay, he uses a lot of a reverb and an echo at the same time, but Mike Dean uses both of those different sounds. They are not the same. They are they are very similar, but they are not the same. He used those both kind of the sound engineering techniques just to make Travis Scott sound a little bit unique. That's why like the moment like you see Travis Scott performing, someone like from a distance, maybe from 3 meters away, 10 meters away, you can still hear Travis Scott's sound clearly and vividly. So guys, I think that's the basic of a reverb and an echo. If like you cannot understand what I said, please leave a comment and let me know what I should explain. But in simple terms, I can say go listen to to the intro of this song and try to hear like how I managed to use the reverb and a delay, and an echo all at the same time. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Definitely, I will see you on the next one. Feel blessed. By the way, thank you so much, guys, for the love like you've been showing me. It really means a lot. It really means a lot, guys. I really appreciate the love. Please don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next